Hey everyone, this is the Red Baron at Baroncast. With me is I Will Dominate from Dignitas. They have come here from the Curse Invitational. We will have V8 versus EZ any moment now. Everyone, just about filing into the game creation screen, and it's just awesome experience. We have all of Dignitas here, and Dominate here just really laid back, just like, all right, we're gonna take care of business.
Yeah,
so.
no problem. We got this.
So coming into this game, I guess we'll probably see lots of standard bans. You were talking earlier about how, in your mind, Shyvana is just like the strongest jungler in the game because of her fast clearing speed. And that's one of the things is, I mean, she's not really the best ganking jungler. All you're really going to do is chunk people. But you can, I've heard that with Shyvana, you can clear the entire jungle and then go do stuff and then come clear it again when it respawns, and there's no downtime.
Yep. It's the fastest clear in the game. And yeah, I mean, versus Curse today, he was banned both games. It's just like, it's something that no one wants to deal with right now. That was the thing that M5 did a lot of at Kiev, and people were just like denying. They're like, oh, well, the jungler can't gank, then it's useless. But it's like, yeah, I mean, if you're just able to out-farm the enemy jungler, it's really effective. And that was kind of the idea behind, like, the Mundo picks today. It was just, like, with Shyvana gone, it's one of the fastest clearing junglers, and I feel like that's really becoming, like, the more consistent things. Because in tournament settings, you don't want to go for things that rely on ganks and rely on other people to make mistakes. You kind of want to go for, like, consistent things that you know you'll get, like a late-game tank out of it. It's like a Shyvana, Mundo, something like that. So, yeah.
So what's your thought on Nocturne then? Because we're seeing a lot of Nocturne. He can clear the jungle extremely fast, but then also has some of that ganking potential.
Yeah, no, I think Nocturne's strong. I used to play a lot of Nocturne, but I've kind of stopped playing him recently. But yeah, Crumbs plays a really good Nocturne. We had to ban it a couple games. Like, it's not something you want to just let a good Nocturne player have.
Awesome. Well, we are in this game, V8 versus EZ. We are going to pick bans. We'll probably see a Shyvana ban just because, like you said, it is so strong. Kind of curious what the rest of it will be. I mean, we have been seeing a lot of Kog'Maw play, not just, AP Kog'Maw with Curse, of course, but a lot of people have been using her as the DPS because when we start to have a lot more of these bruisers, Kog can kind of sit back there a little bit more than he used to be able to. And then the lane harass isn't really as strong as it used to be. So I kind of thought that Kog would be more vulnerable in the bottom lane, but he seems to be okay farming, fine, and not really that much of an issue against lanes like Graves and Sona and Janna, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's one of the strongest ADs still, and it's really good against things like Shyvana, like you mentioned, the bruisers that might become like really tanky, but they don't have that much like gap clearing or that much potential to stay on the AD carry. So yeah, I mean, Kog'Maw's a really strong pick. The percentage damage obviously is really big for killing bruises and things like that. So yeah. I can see a Kog'Maw ban here. I would not. I'd be really surprised if they let Afro play Kog'Maw because this Kog'Maw's beast. You never want to deal with this Kog'Maw.
Yeah, well, we do have the bans from V8, Kennen, Anivia, and Warwick, and we had seen EZ when they beat SK. They had Anivia on Zithian, and he was getting just some awesome wall offs, able to pick people off because you just, once you get that wall, you're out of position. It's done. And then Lee Sin and Vladimir from EZ. I don't know, actually the Rammus. So Shyvana's open, Kog's open, a number of people, and they are going to first pick Shyvana. Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, really strong first pick. I would expect that out of most teams now. I mean, they just see how fast it clears, and it's versatile. You can put it in top, you can put it in jungle, and those picks are really strong early game because you never really know where they're going, so you can't really counter pick it.
And it's kind of interesting to me. This tournament realm. It was just patched yesterday, so this is the most recent patch. Shen is available, and he was incredibly buffed. So be kind of curious to see whether we see him again. We did see him. M5 picked him, and they actually lost that game, though he did crush Irelia in top lane.
Yeah. Shen's really strong, but the thing is, like, since a random champion like that, when some champion gets buffed that no one really plays, you don't really have a lot of top level Shen players. So, for example, in like Curse versus Dignitas, none of us played Shen, so it was just like no one banned it, no one picked it. It was just like out there the whole time. So I think people were kind of getting a little bit too crazy. It's a very strong champion, but it's not necessarily OP.
Yeah, we do have Cassiopeia and Soraka on EZ, though the Cassiopeia pick just really strong in almost every situation, and also against, heavy melee teams, bruisers like Shyvana. Cassiopeia can just throw down the AoE ultimate. It can win you some engages really easily. She has that great counter initiation. And then, keeping the Soraka pick away from the tanky team, if they, were, say, going for that heavy tanky team, it'll be kind of interesting to see. And it actually, goes really well with Corki in that bottom lane, able to get that mana.
Yeah, no, that's a good pick. And another thing I noticed here from the Skarner pick is I know you said Sick Motion was doing a lot of counter jungling with Skarner,
Yeah.
and that's one of the strongest parts of Cassiopeia. She really opens up the counter jungle because she can just push the wave so fast and then just like walk to your Wraith camp and start stealing it. So yeah, I mean we could see a lot of damage here early.
Actually, we have potential for LeBlanc, and I've only seen Reggie play LeBlanc recently, but she does have great mobility, a really strong early game. How do you think that's kind of going to work against EZ potentially?
I think it depends if the LeBlanc can get kills off in lane.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of risky because they don't really have a strong ganking jungler, and Cassiopeia will win that lane like the first couple levels. So it's really up to I'm assuming Racer X is Takashi, but yeah, it's up to Takashi to like survive until 6 and then be able to get some kills. This game could snowball in the opposite direction for them.
Yeah, Skarner is one of those champions that does, help his team snowball very well. You get in, like the Shirelias with the flash in for the ultimate, pick yourself up some kills. Bot lane, we are seeing, Corki and Soraka is a pretty strong combo. Graves and Leona is very aggressive. I would generally say that Corki and Soraka are defensive enough, but if they pick off Soraka, there's probably potential for kills there. What do you kind of think of that matchup? Is Leona going to be able to get in there, or is the harass going to be too much from Corki?
I think that if they don't have a real grip on the lane before level 6, I'm talking about easy, the Leona will be able to just pick off the Soraka. If he hits an ultimate and gets a stun lock off, she'll die before she's unstunned. She won't be able to do anything. So yeah, and Muffin Cutie is one of the best Leonas in on NA. So yeah, I predict bot lane going to V8 here.
And we actually, top lane is going to be kind of a farm fest with Udyr versus Cho. Haven't really seen a lot of Cho recently, just because a lot of the other bruisers can kind of do the same kind of role, but also have a little bit more damage. What do you kind of think of that pick? Both of them taking the teleport for more map control.
It's an interesting pick. Yeah, Cho'Gath really isn't seen much in competitive play anymore. I think the only person that really plays him in NA is like Hotshot. So I've never seen Psycho Sid's Cho'Gath, but Cho becomes a late game monster, and he's really tanky, and if he just split pushes all day, he'll be more effective in team fights than Udyr, for sure.
Awesome. So I'm definitely excited to kind of see what's going on now with this game. I'm a little bit surprised by the LeBlanc pick. Could potentially snowball well for them, but I feel like their team with Leona, with Shyvana, and with Udyr, they have those three kind of tanks up front. They really had a lot of potential to have some heavy damage hitters, sitting in the back, and they kind of don't have that, though LeBlanc can do it to a degree. But we are coming to this game, V8 versus EZ, game number 1, IPL4 qualifiers. Once again, I am the Red Baron at Baroncast. With me is I Will Dominate from Dignitas. Joining us in the studio, they just came back from the Curse Invitational. We are looking to go into this game, V8 versus EZ for the IPL4 qualifiers. This is the round of 8, so the winner of this matchup will be able to go to Las Vegas, the IPL4, just awesome thing that we're trying to do here. So definitely, check it out, tickets.ign.com if you want to come down to Vegas. Definitely, you probably get to meet most of the players. I'm sure you guys aren't going to be like, screw you guys, we're running off.
Most pro League of Legends players are really open to like meeting fans and stuff. Yeah. So yeah.
So we are getting in this game. Just gonna check the stuff real quick. One thing I was kind of wondering about with the comps, do you think that the potential for the snowball with the Blanc, or that kind of in and out poke, because she can like blink in, get some burst damage, get out? Do you think that's strong, or would you have rather seen, kind of a ranged AP that has just lots of damage, like, I don't know, Xerath, or if you could run Karthus, then you have a heavy melee team and then have like a really strong DPS carry in the back?
Yeah, I don't really know what's optimal versus Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia like beats most things. I mean, the only thing I really like think splits with him fine is maybe Galio, but yeah, I mean, if it's up to Takashi to outplay Zythian here, because I don't think LeBlanc is going to be able to handle the early pressure from Cassiopeia, mainly just because of the wave clearing. Like, Cassiopeia can't clear wave easily early, and then or LeBlanc can't clear the waves early, and Cassiopeia can just steamroll wave after wave after wave. And level 2, level 3, it's really hard for LeBlanc to last hit a turret. So.
And I guess that's the thing. They know that, as long as they don't have to deal with Cassiopeia, as long as in those team fights, LeBlanc can take down Cassiopeia and then hold her down in that early game, they won't have to worry about so much about how Cassiopeia counters their melee comp. For the Graves pick, it will be a very strong bottom lane. Graves' passive does, help protect him against Corki, and then has excellent burst damage, great AoE and whatnot. Do you think that was good, or, would you have rather seen more of a standard late game DPS, like you were talking about Aframu and how strong he is with Cog?
Yeah, I was expecting a Kog'Maw pick, but yeah, they went for a kill lane here. Pretty much what you're gonna see is as soon as Leona gets 6, she's gonna look to land an ult on the Soraka, and they'll be able to kill her. If it does land the stun, they'll be able to kill her before she even gets out of the stun lock. So yeah, I think bot lane's gonna definitely go to V8 here. It'd be really surprising to me if Jagged and Chase would be able to pull this one out.
Well, we are in the game. We'll see where they go. Let's see. Skarner, I don't know. We might have a potential for a quick engage. Do you think that V8 might try and counter jungle that blue and put Skarner behind a little bit? Or is it just the Qs and the Cho'Gath Rupture just too strong where they won't want to have any potential for engage, particularly with Corki?
I don't know if there'll be too much invasion going on here. The only reason is neither team has a definitively stronger level 1, so it'd be really ballsy for one of them to invade, but looks like V8's going for it here.
Yeah, and they are moving into a good position. Neither team has a clairvoyance, which is something we've seen from a lot of supports. Allows you to keep track of more aggressive junglers.
And this
and
could
here
be a
they
fight.
actually see each other. We have the snare going off from LeBlanc, not able to pick up anyone.
Yeah, and that's actually pretty interesting right there, because if you saw, LeBlanc skilled her E, and Udyr skilled his bear stance, which is his E2, and that is going to put them a little bit behind in lane. That's not optimal for either of them to get those skills level 1 unless they get a pick off. So, yeah.
And that ranged harass by Cassiopeia, they're probably going to have to just back out.
Yep.
So Skarner going to have a more standard jungle. Won't be much of an issue. Looking at these lanes, LeBlanc can be kind of vulnerable in lane, particularly she went that, E first, like you said. And then top lane, both of them should be pretty defensive, but is there any lane in particular that you think that Skarner would focus on, or is he primarily going to look for jungle clearing and, maybe a little bit of counter jungling?
As a jungler, when I play Skarner, I'm
Yeah.
normally going to farm until I hit 6, maybe go for counter jungling if I'm going for anything aggressive, but you really want to hit 6 on Skarner before you bring out the ganks, because that's when you're the strongest.
Yeah, I guess particularly against a jungler like Shyvana, he just wants to make sure that he's clearing his creeps and not giving her the opportunity to come in and snatch any of them.
Yep.
Well, she is stopping, or Shyvana is starting off with the red buff, and because they're at blue, they maybe could have expected that, so they might want to play a little bit defensively, but, no early wards. We do have Soraka, the support's getting some wards, but nothing early to kind of keep out for it. We do have the ward mid, actually, for LeBlanc to keep her okay from that Skarner pick. Though it will be pretty difficult, particularly now that she's level 2, for him to kind of do any damage there. So I guess it was primarily just to make sure they could keep their blue alive if they did want to counter jungle.
Definitely. And yeah, it actually looks like Takashi's doing fine in the lane right now. I would have liked to see Zythian spam push the wave. I feel like that's really Cassiopeia's strength, and especially with the Shyvana jungle, he shouldn't be that afraid of gank. So I feel like the best way he could have played it would be to just spam the creep wave down and use that ability.
Oh, wow. Muffin Cutie jumping in on Chase on fire, getting the stun, and then the ignite. He's going to back off, but almost taking down Corki. And I mean, they definitely, you were saying that kill lane earlier, they definitely have that potential.
Yeah, and for example, if Muffin Cutie was 6 there, and
wow.
Yeah, that's really surprising. But if Muffin Cutie was 6 there, somebody's dying instantly during that stun lock. You cannot let him hit a knee.
I can't believe that LeBlanc was able to get a kill at only level 3. 'Cause, I mean, she definitely has the burst capabilities as the game progresses, but early on, not so much. In the meantime, we do have Sick Motion coming up here, and Tree Eskimo has the whole lane to go down, but he will perfectly time his flash, jump over easy. There's the Rupture hitting, but
the Rupture hit.
Okay.
I would have liked to see Sick Motion follow up on that, because they hit the Rupture, the flash was down, they might have been able to get a kill there.
He is going to come back around, though, and Tree Eskimo doesn't have any vision, so he's going to back up, understanding that's the potential. And actually, Muffin Cutie coming in once again on Chase on fire, almost picking up a kill there once again. And that early pressure really working out for them.
Yeah.
Soraka, doesn't have any wards in this brush, which she probably needs to once Corki comes back, so that they don't have this huge threat of Leona just sitting in the brush.
Yeah, and if you see right now, they haven't been able to get a kill, but the CS in bottom lane is a huge advantage for Graves. He's got double the CS of Corki right now, so that's pretty big. If they get too far ahead in the lane, as soon as they hit 6, with the level advantage, they're going to hit 6 first. You're going to see some kills down here for sure.
Well, and they're also just holding this lane out here for a little bit. They can push back because Corki had to recall, but zoning Corki out of some of that CS, just hold her back on levels, or hold Corki him back on levels.
Yeah.
That could really hurt. And there's the snare from Takashi X. He's going to hit the snare. The flash from Zithian. V8 going to do some good work early on. Shyvana not going to be able to pick up that kill, but even so, Cassiopeia chunked mid.
Yeah, yeah. I see Cassiopeia is pushing out a little bit more now, but it would have been better if he did that like level 1, because now LeBlanc got the advantage in the lane. The reason that happened was because he was the one that had the creep advantage, and he was able to play aggressively. So it might be a little bit too late for Zithian to be pushing this hard.
And we do have Corki and Soraka back into this lane. No pink ward from Leona. I was kind of wondering if she would maybe hold one down in this bottom lane in case Soraka wards there, just because they seem to be having such a strong advantage early on. You want to maintain that advantage. But I don't know. What do you kind of see in these mid-game fights after this laning phase, what we might expect to see from some of these teams?
Well, it's really going to depend on if LeBlanc can get her combo off. Cho'Gath, he can really mess up LeBlanc. If he silences LeBlanc, and this is a dead LeBlanc right here.
Yeah, the snare once again picking up the LeBlanc kill this time, or the cast kill this time, and LeBlanc just 2-0 already. That's, or 1-0 and 1 actually, but still that early advantage is really going to help her be mobile later in the game.
Yeah, definitely. And this is not how you want to start out if you're Cassiopeia. After 6, LeBlanc has the burst potential to kill.
Oh, Muffin Cutie went in, but Sick Motion is coming down the lane this time. He flashes after Muffin Cutie, trying to get the slow. He's going to turn onto Afromew, and he is going to take a lot of damage. He's going to flash away, but a little bit of, breathing room for Corki and Soraka down here. If they can maybe zone the lane a little bit, use some of that sustain. Afromew is actually pretty high health still, so he should be fine. We'll see whether or not they go in. They don't have a ward yet, or their ward did die in this brush, so they don't know, whether Skarner is kind of zoning. I would, normally expect that he's going to recall, but once again, a snare from LeBlanc, and going to almost pick up the kill. There it is with the Ignite. And Cassiopeia is really far behind now. I guess what would be your main goal to stop LeBlanc from just taking over this game if you were easy?
Just try to farm out the lane at this point. You should don't even look for confrontations. Early game is when level 2 Cassiopeia would be able to win those trades, but at this point you've just got to farm out and go for the late game. Yeah,
and Cassiopeia going to be picking up a couple more kills. They're moving over to steal this blue buff, and she's able to grab Skarner there. And that's one of the things is, Cassiopeia, once she gets some kills, if she gets this blue buff, there's the snare from Muffin Cutie and then the snare from Cassiopeia. They're going to try and get some damage. Chase on Fire just barely Valkyrieing over there before the dragon comes in. And they're actually going to go down for Baron, which is a little bit surprising to me because they don't have the best Baron damage. Oh, they're just
dragon,
picking it. Or dragon damage, right.
Definitely. Yeah, they're just going to back off here. LeBlanc's got no mana, and Cassiopeia can still put out a decent amount of damage in a dragon fight like that, so I think it's a smart move to back out there. They I don't know, did they get the blue? Yeah, I think
they did get the blue, but
yeah, they got the
Shyvana
blue.
took it.
They got the blue, and yeah, that's all they really needed right there.
Right.
Blue and a kill, burned a flash on Soraka. It's a good engagement there. Really good play from Unstoppable.
So Shyvana's actually going Wriggles. Do you normally go Wriggles on Shyvana, or just because she's kind of that DPS you're trying to clear fast, or you go like Doran's Blades, or?
That's actually one of the only junglers that I do build a Wriggles on, and it just really has to do with the fact that she clears so much faster with it, and I mean she gets natural tankiness from her ultimate, the passive on her ultimate, so you don't necessarily need multiple Doran's Blades to be strong early game.
Yeah, and the benefit there is it will give them a better jungle clearing capabilities since, clearly LeBlanc doesn't really contribute that much on that side there.
Yeah.
Soraka coming over, warding this brush, recognizing that, any jungle ganks would probably result in a dragon and really just put them so far behind. And again, top lane basically just a free farm lane. Though Udyr is in a slight, control of this lane. He's kind of chasing Psycho Sid out, but Psycho Sid can just play defensively, allow that lane to come back to him.
Yep.
So as the game progresses, you're counter jungling more. You're clearing fast as a jungler like Shyvana or Skarner. Well, in Shyvana in particular, what's your goal in kind of the mid game, or is it just to basically continue farming and be like a beefy presence for your team?
Right now, my goal with Shyvana would be dragon control. You've got the advantage. Your lanes are stronger. If like Cassiopeia here, she's got 2 Duran's rings compared to a needlessly large rod on LeBlanc. So I would just be trying to pressure dragon fights. You don't even necessarily need to get the dragon, and this could be a dead. Yeah, instantly.
Wow.
If you get the stun, it's blown up.
Yeah, so Muffin Cutie bursting down Soraka there, but Skarner's here. He's going to try and get the slow. He does have his ultimate, so
Yep,
there's
there
the
it
pull
is.
on Leona. Going to go down, but I guess an even exchange, but it still goes to show how strong this bottom lane is for V8.
Mm-hmm. And they knew that they burned the flash on Soraka there, so she was an easy target.
And Unstoppable actually coming in, going to deal a lot of damage to this tower. Probably going to take it down if he wants to, since there's no one to stop it. And as LeBlanc, I know you're a jungler, but at this point in the game, are you kind of just sticking around mid still because how much you can shut down Cassiopeia, or are you maybe looking to roam around the other lanes and try and pick up more kills?
You kind of want to be around mid to bottom here at this point because the dragon's still up. If the dragon was down, that'd be a different scenario. But with the dragon up, you want to be able to control us. And here they go. They're engaging onto the dragon here. And,
Cassiopeia.
And Cassiopeia is so dead right now.
Yeah.
So dead.
So LeBlanc just waiting for her to come out.
Yep. And this is a free dragon for V8 right here. V8's really taking control of this game early. Yeah, it's if no one stops LeBlanc, or if LeBlanc doesn't make a major mistake, this game could get out of control pretty soon here.
And coming into the mid game, I thought it was interesting watching Reginald recently on LeBlanc. I always kind of thought of her as this, early game champion. I mean, she is. She, has that kind of control. But in the team fights, when you run kind of a tanky team, LeBlanc can kind of pop in and out and actually do some poke even though she is pretty short range, just because of the mobility that her, dash provides her.
Yeah. It's kind of dangerous, though, especially versus a team like this. If she gets silenced on the way in, she's just going to be in the middle of the team. So, yeah, I mean, I can see Easy turning this around here. They're definitely not out of this by any stretch. And they've got the more late game-oriented team here. So, yeah, they definitely can still turn this around. But they need to get control of their blue buff, which is coming up soon. And, yeah, you're going to see V8 invading for it soon. Yep, and there goes the ping. So, yeah, this is going to be big for Easy. They cannot keep on losing these exchanges. They know it's going to spawn roughly around 12:15, 12:30-ish. So, yeah, they're already invading for it. And another thing that you see top, Eskimo's way more healthy than Cho'Gath right now. So they can definitely pressure this, and they have the option to TP, and Psycho Sid needs to go back right now. Or actually, Eskimo's TP is down for a little bit, but it should be up during this fight. Yeah, and they're just giving it up here.
Another blue buff for Takashi, keeping it off of Cass. Definitely, the good thing to do through this mid game. And Tree Eskimo just crushing Psycho Sid up top, not able to get up near those creeps for that regen. And he's actually going to have to use his teleport to come back up to this lane. Actually, Tree Eskimo is not going to pressure it, so I thought he might pressure the tower there and force the teleport so that he can't use it for more map control.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe Cho'Gath might not even need to TP back. Yeah, it looks like he's just gonna run back to the lane here because yep,
Muffin
and there
Cutie
it is.
just exploding Soraka past level 6. There's
And
the
he TP's
teleport down bottom. Maybe gonna try and get in.
Up, and it's a
there's
3v2.
Yeah, and they're gonna get some damage off on the Corki. Corki's probably gonna have to Valkyrie out of there. There's the stun from Muffin Cutie, just barely keeping himself alive.
Excellent play.
able to pick up the kill.
Muffin Cutie's doing a really good job here. He's hitting almost all of his E's.
Coming in, one more hit. There, Graves gets it. Skarner's going to get Graves, though, because Graves is tanking that tower, just barely able to flash out, actually, so Skarner goes down as well. A 10-1 advantage, 5K gold, only 13 minutes into the game, and they're going to be able to get this tower as well and just continue this map presence that they have.
And this is what you want to do if you have LeBlanc. You need the early game. You need to win the early game if you're going to be effective with LeBlanc, and that's exactly what they're doing. So, yeah, props to V8 here.
Yeah, it's just wild how dominant LeBlanc's been, and it all really started with that mid lane,
Yep.
just effectively
Multiple lane kills.
Yeah,
Multiple
effectively
lane kills.
countering Zithian there.
Mhm.
And Muffin Cutie just going to pick up some CS. No one's in that lane, so might as well catch up a little bit.
Yep.
The one concern with LeBlanc usually is that, she does fall behind on CS, and here you see she's only at 70 CS, when you're kind of ganking a lot. But when you're picking up kills, it's really not an issue. But if you're not successful, that can kind of put you behind. Clearly not, an issue this game, though. But they are coming up to protect their red as a team. Kind of concerned that counter jungling might transition over there. But in the meantime, they're going to be able to, V8's going to be able to take down this mid tower and continue kind of that aggressive ganking all over the map with all this map control down for EZ.
Definitely. And yeah, what EZ really needs to do is find an objective, group up, and try to win a team fight. If they keep on splitting up, LeBlanc's is going to keep on roaming and dominating this game. So yeah, they really need to group up, get together as a team, and try to force something here. Maybe next Dragon would be.
I guess the concern is, though, that Dragon was just taken like 2 minutes ago, so they have to wait, for another 4 minutes for the next Dragon.
Yeah.
Almost 5 minutes. So I mean, they are grouping up here, trying to see if they can get a good fight. Actually, the ultimate going off onto Cassiopeia, and she's going to flash right out of there. That would have just been devastating. But I thought she might be able to, get her ultimate, since everyone seemed like they were grouped up in an AoE, but almost getting bursted down herself.
Yeah, well, they had absolutely no vision around that area, so it was definitely a chance that she gets insta-gibbed. But the Leona ultimate came off, kind of gives you a little bit of a warning, so she was able to flash it. But Leona ultimate for a flash, that's a good trade for V8.
And EZ is coming in here, trying to get a quick engage, and Takashi X goes down almost immediately with the Cho'Gath Rupture. Zithian's going to have to back out there. He did use the ultimate, and this is actually a pretty good fight for EZ. Unstoppable is going to be able to take down Shyvana, though. Unstoppable is going to potentially go down. Corki chasing after him. V8 clearing up this top. And now Graves chasing after Chase on fire here with that red buff.
Epic chase.
Should be able to pick up this kill, just the slow chase. In the meantime, we do have Soraka going down. And there's not really much hope for Corki to get out of there either. So I don't know. At this point in the game, any hope for EZ, or is this just let's call it a day and figure out what we can come into this next game and change up?
They still are not out of the game, because if they win a team fight, they could take something like a Dragon or a Baron and get closer in gold. But 9K advantage pretty early. I don't know. They have to really outplay V8 hard in these next couple fights, like maybe insta-gib LeBlanc and then fight a 4 versus 5. Like they've got to significantly outplay V8 to have any chance of winning this game. Here's the next Dragon, free for V8.
So I mean, EZ, they definitely still have some pick-off potential, some fight potential with the AoE of Cassiopeia. And then, like you said, if they win the fight, they can go for an objective. Cassiopeia is one of the strongest champions in the game at taking objectives.
Definitely.
So, I guess there is that potential, but we'll just have to see. But it seems like V8 kind of has this game, once again, stealing the blue buff just there for
Looks
the
like
timer.
they're going for a kill, actually.
Yeah.
Corki's
definitely out of position.
Corki's pretty screwed right now, to be honest.
So there's the
And
stun
that
from
is a
Leona,
dead
and
Corki.
there he goes. Wow, so just really impressive control by V8 all game. Just, I don't know, bullying EZ, basically. And going to come steal another blue buff and then probably continue pushing. They don't really have a great Baron team, until a little bit later. They do have plenty of tanks for Baron.
Yeah.
But not a lot of damage yet. So I guess they'll probably hold off that for a while. And when you're ahead, there's not really a reason to go for Baron.
Yeah, the only thing that they could do around Baron is they might just bait them into fighting. Since they're so far ahead of EZ right now, they could group up, start pressuring Baron, and then the second they see EZ close in, bring out the Leona ult and try to pick off someone.
And LeBlanc's actually going to come in on Zithian. Can he get the snare? There it is. And so the ultimate from Cassiopeia is going to be able to get that. There goes LeBlanc. And Zithian's actually going to be okay. We have sick motion chasing after him. Didn't use the ultimate to pull him back into that tower. But yeah, I mean, getting that kill spree gold and then the oracles, that's huge.
Yeah, that's definitely a starting place for them.
They are coming up top, going to dissuade Tree Eskimo from continuing that push there. And that's the one thing that Easy really needs to, consider is that they need to keep up their farm if they're going to get back in this game. Corky only at 116 CS at this point. So that's going to be a concern if they have to run around and, just don't have those farming opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So if you were V8 right now, you would probably just kind of force a fight at Baron. Just,
yeah,
bluff your
force
way in
objectives. Keep on taking the buffs, take every dragon, and then if you see them out of position, maybe start on Baron, and the second that anyone comes near, bring out the Leona ult and kill someone.
I'm a little bit surprised when LeBlanc was chasing after Cassiopeia there. She didn't just jump in and QR. She almost would have gotten the kill at this point. She has a ton of ability power, or at the very least, she would have been safe with the silence. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. We do have, once again, the AoE from Cassiopeia, but if they can get in on her, they have the silence from LeBlanc, they have the stuns from Leona. It will be pretty difficult for them. Good vision from both teams here. They are going to be able to pick up this red and then possibly pressure that Baron like we talked about. And actually, Skarner is going to potentially get picked off here. Muffin Cutie using the ultimate on Skarner. I'm not sure that it's the best decision, but it does force a fight. There's the rupture from Cho'Gath pushing them away. So they are going to reset here.
Yeah, it forced a flash, and that's fine for Muffin. Like, they can just stall out until his ultimate's up again. And an ultimate for a flash, it's a pretty good trade.
Okay, I was just kind of wondering if whether or not it would be more worthwhile to make sure you have that up for engaging on someone like Cassiopeia or Corky, but I guess they're at such a position now that...
Yeah, see, they don't have any pressure on them. That might be the case if the game was a little bit closer and Easy was pressuring objectives, but they can't even leave their own jungle at this point, so... Yeah, and right now they're just baiting Baron. They could be at it, and Sick Motion's just going to run into 5 and die.
Oh, wow. So the kill in Sick Motion, and now with the 5v4, they probably will go for this Baron. And I don't know, with the Baron, that'll probably be GG. We'll have to see.
Yeah, they've got no jungler, so their only way of possibly getting it would be a feast from Psycho Sid, and that's down. So yeah, they're giving up the free Baron here.
So I guess assuming that, I don't know, with the Baron, I'm sitting here trying to think of what Easy can do to get back in this game, and it's just not coming to me. I guess V8 will probably just push down some of these towers, or we do have good clearing capabilities from Cassiopeia. She could maybe stall a lane, but I guess that would just result in V8 switching from like top to mid and maybe forcing them into the jungle some.
Yeah, I don't see a way they could win this game without some major mistakes from V8 at this point. They've just got too much map control. V8 can take every single blue buff, every single dragon, every single red buff, every single Baron from this point out. So, yeah, it looks like V8's going to take this game here.
And Udyr is going to split push top. They know they're basically strong enough that they can 4v5 here, but Cho'Gath's also going to go top. They both have the teleports, so they can split push. Aphromoo taking a little bit of damage, but they're slowly whittling down that tower. And if they do try and engage on like Aphromoo or LeBlanc here, then here we have Muffin Cutie. With the stun, there's a dead Sick Motion. Cassiopeia gets in with the stun herself, but she doesn't have enough damage by herself. There's the teleport in from Udyr. Cassiopeia is going to go down. They are chasing after Soraka, just going to back off, let her be, and then come take this tower. And that's the thing. They don't have any good means of engaging anymore. It's just kind of like a desperation engage.
Yeah, that was really desperate right there. They just are trying to force something. They're trying to force a team fight because they don't really have. They can't win a poke war at their tower. The other team has Baron. They just had to try something, and Sick Motion wasn't even able to get his ultimate off before he died.
Tree Eskimo flashing in and picking up the quick kill onto Jagged. So after the inhibitor, they are going to back up, and with this gold advantage already, it'll probably be a GG shortly. They're going to come up into this top lane and just continue pressuring this tower. Going to get this tower down and I guess just push for the next inhibitor. So coming into the next game, we saw, a lot of it started off with mid and, Zithian falling behind quickly and then just aggressive counter jungling. What do you think that Easy might look to do, to kind of improve upon that and not allow it to snowball so quickly against them?
I think it just really comes down to Zithian picking champions that he's more comfortable with. I think that it was kind of Cassiopeia's OP. Let's just take her like first pick. But that might not necessarily be one of his best champions. So maybe he should pick something that he's more comfortable with, that he understands the matchup more, because I don't think he exactly played it optimally versus LeBlanc.
And so we do have them taking another dragon, getting, just extending their gold lead some more. They'll probably go back and buy. They probably have a lot of gold. Yeah, a couple thousand at this point.
They've got a 15K gold advantage, and that's just huge at this point. This is like the definition of snowball right here.
So once they come back and get their items, they'll probably push down another inhibitor, and, we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, I mean, they could just send the whole team bottom, have Uter go top, split push, and then they have pressure mid from the super creeps, and Easy won't really be able to do anything to defend.
Yeah, and the thing is, looking at the items, Corki lost that lane bottom. Soraka was really just getting caught off by that Leona. And so as a result, Corki picking up the Wriggles, which is surprising considering you have a Soraka to keep you around. Wriggles is a very early game kind of item compared with Graves, who, of course, has been getting all these kills and farming well, has tons of DPS. LeBlanc has all of that burst, compared with Cassiopeia, who, because of the strength of the LeBlanc lane, had to go an early Negatron cloak, and then even a Giant's belt, potentially for a realize, but even so, low on damage because of the early pressure from V8.
And it really just was it was just out of necessity that he picked up the Wriggles. He was getting crushed so hard in lane, he needed a way to at least be able to last hit, and that was his option. It looks like all of his items pretty much were just chosen. Were just whatever amount of money he had, he just went back and bought an item because he needed some type of damage.
And it was kind of interesting. I think I believe the same Corki Soraka lane was used against SK, and Corki had like a 50 CS advantage at about 20 minutes over Sivir Sona, I believe. So it did work out for them in the past, but I don't know. This kill lane had them on the defensive early.
Yeah, ever since level 2, they were just jumping on the Corki, getting him down low, and he had to back when he was 11 CS to like 22. So. Yeah, that's definitely not good. When you have a Soraka, you want to be able to sustain your lane better than that. I think that this game really just comes down to V8 just being a more experienced team. They're really just outplaying Easy all over the map here. And, I mean, that's to be expected. V8's been around a while, and Easy's kind of a new startup team. And they're all really skilled individual players, but a team game is much different. And that's something that everyone has to learn when they get into the competitive scene.
Which is, I guess, why you see a lot of new teams picking up like AoE comps, because they're a little bit easier to work around. Sick Motion coming in, he's trying to get the flash in the ultimate. He's going to go down pretty quickly. Zithian being chased down, had the ultimate, but no one from V8 really getting that low. LeBlanc a little bit low, but picking up a couple of kills. They're going to be able to pick down up this bottom inhibitor, and should be able to grab the Nexus shortly after that. Yep. But I guess Easy just kind of feeling out what V8's trying to do as a team. They are an extremely experienced team. Even if they haven't been winning those tournaments, V8's just been around so long. They started off and they were running kind of a lot of AoE comps themselves, and started working into kind of more unique comps that require a little more team strategy. So coming up in this top, they're going to be able to pick up this inhibitor as well. They're all kind of low, but they just don't have the damage to come after it. There's the stun from Muffin Cutie, so they're going to be able to back out of there after that turret. So just going to recall, get some health, and then end the game. Yeah,
and it's not really that bad as it looks right now for Easy. I mean, getting top 8 in a tournament like this, that's a good start. So even if they aren't able to pull out the next couple games, I definitely think that they've made an impressive showing so far.
Well, it's also the thing with the current, the way the game works now. It's always funny when you see lots of times games with teams like TSM, or even yourselves, where if you fall behind early, the game can just get out of control so quickly. But do you think that they might ban any of these champions? I mean, Leona definitely did a lot of damage bottom lane. That was kind of tough for them to deal with. LeBlanc crushed middle. If, maybe they're more comfortable in team fights, but if they're concerned about the early pressure that LeBlanc's putting on mid, maybe ban out LeBlanc?
Maybe, or pick something that's stronger against LeBlanc, like maybe a Gallia or something. They don't have enough bans to ban out everything. And
Yeah.
When your whole team gets outplayed like this, it's really hard to like hone in on one specific problem. But yeah, you could see a Leona ban, maybe a LeBlanc ban. Yeah, they have some options here. But I would just expect them coming into it with a different strategy next
Right.
game.
Well, here's another inhibitor for V8. They'll
Yep,
go
they're just
top
gonna
now.
rotate top.
Grab
take that
the last
inhib,
inhibitor.
push down the Nexus. They might if they want to play it super safe, go back, take Baron, and then end it. But there's really no need for that. They're so far ahead right now. But yeah, they're gonna go do it. All right, I respect that. You don't want to throw a game.
Yeah. Well, once again, while we're here, I want to just thank you for taking the time to come out to the office. That's awesome. And,
Yeah, no, it's definitely
everyone,
fun.
Yeah, good luck at IPL4. Everyone definitely check it out. IPL4 is Las Vegas, so check out our stuff at youtube.com/IPLLOL. And if you have any cool replays, any highlights, we definitely want to do top 5 videos, community stuff. So send us in any of those replays to IPLLOLreplays@gmail.com. And yeah, we'll have to see. So far in this tournament, I mean, we've got a lot of really impressive top teams. Mono, I still can't believe that they were able to take the games from M5, but they've beaten Millennium, they've beaten Absolute Legends, and then they beat TSM, which was on the NA server just Thursday night. So I don't know, having a really aggressive early game comp, but even the second game of M5, they weren't running that all AoE comp. They had Jarvan in the jungle and Irelia. Jarvan, of course, is AoE, but they had kind of a more, I don't know, tanky, more unusual comp than their standard like Cassiopeia Rumble.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see. Do you have any thoughts coming into any of those matches in IPL4 about how you might deal with some of these other teams that maybe you haven't played before? Wow, actually Cassiopeia coming in, trying to get the one last ultimate, last-ditch effort, and everyone for easy, going down. Tree Eskimo pretty close to going down, but they're able to pick up a couple of kills here. So V8's going to go ahead with this game. So any of those teams that, you're looking at those teams, you're like, hey, we got to train a particular way for that matchup, or how you might play against them?
I don't know. I don't think it depends that much on the team we're playing as much as what happens from now until then. I mean, we've got this new champion Fiora coming out. Yeah, the troll well dive here from V8. But yeah, I mean, it will just depend on the metagame, what's happening right then. If there's any new champions or they're randomly OP, I mean, can never put that past Riot. So yeah, it will really just depend on what's happening with the game, because a month is a lot of time in this game.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to V8, game number 1 in dominant fashion. All starting with LeBlanc, Racer X, Takashi X in that mid lane, picking up a number of kills. Then, a really aggressive counter jungle. They did have Shyvana, who was, really strong from that regards to the mobility of LeBlanc. Bot lane, the Graves Leona comp, just absolutely dominant in that bot lane. We'll have to see how Easy's going to respond in game number 2. But we'll be back shortly after a break. Once again, I'm the Red Baron at Baroncast. Thank you. I will dominate, coming in here. Well, sorry, what was your name again, Steve?
Chris.
So Chris.
You can call me Steve.
I'll call you. Well, I'll just call everyone Steve. We got Chaucer in here. He's Steve.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks again, everyone. Check us out, youtube.com/IPLLOL. Check out Twitter at IGN Pro League. The Facebook is actually still going on, facebook.com/IGN Pro League. There's a little link on there if you like it. There's 5 $25 RP cards, so definitely check all that out. Thank you, and make sure to tune in for game number 2.